Hello everyone, we are Group 5. Our members are Li Xing, Gao Ming, Yi Zelin, Bai Bingyao, Wang Jingjing. It's a great honor to speak with you today about a fascinating subject, the intersection of science and culture in Ireland. The title of our presentation is The Emerald Isle Where Science Meets Culture. First of all, maybe you want to know why is Ireland called the Emerald Isle? As we all know, Ireland is known as the Emerald Isle due to its unique natural environment and green landscape. This name also reflects the romantic image of Ireland in literature and culture. While Ireland is celebrated worldwide for its deep literary traditions and vibrant arts, today I want to shine light on how science has always been woven into the cultural fabric of this incredible country. We will illustrate from 6 chapters. So let's go. The first chapter is from ancient times to 19th century about the birth of science and scientific consciousness in Ireland. At Newgrange, an ancient burial mound older than the Egyptian pyramids, early astronomers and astrologers tracked the star. It's a powerful testament to Irish fascination with both the heavens and human inquiry. Scientific and astronomical knowledge was embedded in myths and folklore. In the Middle Ages, Irish monks and scholars preserved Greek and Roman knowledge. On the Wheels of Autumn popularized the metaphysical writings. They disseminated astronomical, medical, and philosophical texts in monastic communities, which provided the basis for the development of science in Ireland. In the 17th century, scientists emerged in large numbers, such as Robert Boyle. He acted in Royal Society of London, contributed to science through experiments and public lectures. The rise of a scientific institution also made great contributions. Dublin Philosophical Society, the first society in Ireland dedicated to natural philosophy and science. Science communication was carried out through elite networks and written communications. What follows is a description of exploration of science and culture during colonial period. The situation in this period was complex. In the religions and cultural context, the interaction of both Catholics and Protestants has an impact on science communication. This impact can be divided into 2 aspects. On one hand, the positive impact is that science and technology were developed. On the other hand, the negative is that science communication was limited. Let's first look at the positive impacts. We can see that science and technology were developed in astronomy, physical, humanities, and social science. Next, we look at the limitations. Due to royal Dublin philosophy of exclusion of Catholics and the colonial rule, science communication in Ireland was limited in terms of the subject, the form, and the scope of communication. With the end of British colonization, Ireland came a new period, collision of science and culture. During this period, the audience for science communication was freed from boundaries and became broader. The spread of science was furthered by the expansion of the elite from scientists, orators, and writers to the general public, such as students, priests, and ordinary laborers. For example, the Young Scientist Exhibition, founded in 1963, is the most enduring and important public event in the history of Irish science. It is available to all secondary school and further popularized the concept of science amongst the students. At the same time, new forms of science communication have emerged. In 1964, Ben Sherry asked the listeners on the radio, "What is physics?" pioneering a new genre, science television. This genre brought the concept of science to the masses and made them think deeply about what science is. Since 1970, Ireland began to be internationally connected, receiving international radio stations on an ongoing basis. BBC TV programs, David Steinberg's Life on Earth, and other important TV programs appeared on RTE, attracting public interest in science. Meanwhile, the Irish Science and Technology Journalists Association, we can call ISTJA, was founded in 1985 as a partnership between the Irish government and the European Union of Science Journalists. It has enabled Ireland to strengthen its scientific exchange with Europe, as well as allowing the further dissemination of science in Ireland.
Next, we will dive into how science became a key part of Ireland's culture, education, and everyday life, blending science with society in exciting new ways. This integration process I have divided into 2 aspects: the modernization of science communication on the one hand, and the internationalization of science communication on the other. In the mid-1990s, Ireland gradually began to emphasize the links between science and society. 1996 was a pivotal year, with the publication of the government's white paper on science, technology, and innovation, along with the launch of the inaugural Science Week and the Masters in Science Communication, which marked the official start of science communication in Ireland. Following that, the Program for Research in Third-Level Institutions, launched in 1998, then the Foundation for the Flourishing of Science Communication. The initiative provided 1.2 billion euros in funding, marking a significant increase in Ireland's investment in science, particularly in support of science communication and educational outreach. This program also promoted Dublin City University and its researchers as potential centers for science communication research. Through the financial support of PRTLI and the policy oversight of SFI, the first PhD student in the discipline of science communication graduated shortly thereafter. In 2003, Dr. Fiona Babigalo successfully completed his dissertation on public engagement and controversy in science, an Irish perspective. Since then, research on science communication has ranged from environmental audiences and science television program studies to celebrity science and young perspectives on biological sciences in culture. Moreover, the opening of the Dublin Science Gallery in 2008 marked a breakthrough in the way science is communicated in Ireland, moving away from the traditional deficit model to a more participatory and interactive form of presentation. In addition to this, science communication in Ireland has had notable successes on the international stage, with Dublin hosting the European Science Open Forum in 2012, which not only demonstrated Ireland's scientific strength, but also a symbol of its Ireland's confidence in science communication. The next section talks about the development of science and culture in Ireland, the sustainable development period, from one-way communication to two-way interaction, dialogue, and co-creation between the public and science. The first is from one-way communication to two-way interaction. Ireland's science communication has gradually shifted from the parser deficit model to two-way interactive communication model. This interactive approach enhances the transparency of science communication and the public's trust in science. The second is the dialogue and co-creation between the public and science. Irish citizen science is an initiative that aims to use the knowledge gained by practitioners and researchers and inform citizens in different science, technology, engineering, mathematics disciplines in Ireland. Finally, the role of science communication in sustainable development. Ireland focuses on combining science communication with sustainable development goals, especially in addressing climate change, developing green energy, and protecting natural resources. Science communication encourages society to adopt a sustainable lifestyle by raising public awareness of ecological issues and promoting the application of environmental protection technologies. Okay, now let's summarize. Ireland has been actively engaged in international cooperation in promoting the Sustainable Development Goals and is committed to achieving the goals of the 2030 Agenda. As Minister Smith said, we need to revigorate the multilateral system to allow it to deliver on the promises of the 2030 Agenda. Ireland will continue to work with all member states and the UN system to maximize the synergies between the 2030 Agenda and our common agenda, and to accelerate progress toward achieving the SDGs. In the future, science communication in Ireland is expected to achieve further development by strengthening public participation, promoting sustainable development, and cross-border integration. However, it also faces challenges such as uneven resource allocation, diversity of communication, basic science communication, and information quality. Finally, we'd like to bring you back to the question we asked at the beginning. Why is it called the Emerald Isle? Before answering this question, I would like to introduce you to the formation process of emerald. The formation process of emerald can basically be divided into four steps, namely magma intrusion, plant collision, regional metamorphism, and finally surface action. When we have a preliminary understanding of the process of formation of emerald and then look back at the process of scientific examination of island and the formation of emerald basically completely match. The process of scientific consciousness is the process of magma intrusion science, and cultural exploration process is the process of regional metamorphosophy science, and cultural is the process of collision of geological plates collision process. Science and culture is the integration of the development process, is the formation of emerald, the last step. Epigenetic effect. Therefore, the title Emerald Isle refers not only to the country of Ireland itself, but more importantly, the development of science communication in Ireland is just like the process of information of the emerald. Through each cycle of carving and perfecting the final formation of the unique Irish science communication parts. Thanks for watching.